What's poppin', y'all? Lil TJ decided to pop up from wherever he's been in hiding or missing, or perhaps we just haven't been paying attention to him and he just hasn't caught on yet. And to, for some reason, ask people about Drake, as well as come at his supposed industry homies that weren't posting his stuff. I'm just gonna play you guys this clip first. And then, please, let's just get into it.
Right back to watching my rap friends be on Drake. They ain't gonna share nothing. Niggas, they really cool with album. Niggas heading up all day. This, they ain't gonna share that shit. But they gonna share Drake shit. You ain't gonna get a repost, but you gonna share Drake shit. You know the vibes. Industry, game. Yo, quick food for thought, right? I wonder if any of y'all streamers, like well-known streamers and people that be doing y'all reviews, would even have the audacity to sit there and say, like, yo, son shit was trash, you feel me? And I'm not saying it was, I didn't listen, you feel me? And he one of my favorite artists, I say that all the time, you feel me? But, like, I really wonder if y'all would have the audacity, bro, like, on some real shit, like, the shit trash. Like, nah, that's not what I'm jacking. Or you gonna say, nah, that's Drake, he's in right now, I can't fuck up the relationship, I'ma be on his dick. Cause I see y'all niggas, like, saying shit trash when y'all feel that way and then say you don't like speaking this. All I'm saying is, keep it 100, bro. And if you being a dick sucker, be a dick sucker. Don't try to pump real nigga. No, because I'm exposing shit. I got too much fucking money, too much hits. Niggas can't play with my body. Like, man, got too much money. I'm going to speak my mind forever when I feel like it. So you a real nigga or you a dick?
Okay, so as you guys clearly just heard, Lil TJ, straight from Yap York City, it just seemed like he was babbling that entire time. First of all, he's talking about, his industry friends not knowing or not reposting his album. I mean, did he send it to them or did he just expect them to post it? I genuinely think that Lil TJ is the type that was probably like, yo, I hope they posted that. And if they didn't post it, he's like, damn, they didn't post it. They should have known I was going to drop. Maybe they just didn't know he was going to drop. Perhaps they could be following him and hundreds of other people, and maybe he just didn't pop up. Not many people knew he was dropping. And this was his comeback after, getting shot multiple times and surviving, which, God bless him that he was able to get through that and still be completely functional, still be able to sing, still be able to rap, and still be able to move on your own accord, your own 2 feet. But he decides to go at streamers, this is where he completely lost me. Because who on God's green earth is a really, really popular streamer that just says Drake is amazing all of the time? Like, there's probably the what's the dude's name? Los Pollos? I don't know how he decides to pronounce it. He's always saying, I've only seen clips of him saying Drake is amazing. I haven't seen him say stuff that he didn't like from Drake. Is he talking about Academics? That's probably like the most famous Drake fan or supporter. But even Academics at some time says, yo, this is mid, or nah, we gotta wait this out. I will say he gives Drake more leeway than anybody else, sure. Who else other than that? Fantano, who's like, he's not a streamer necessarily, although I do think he streams. He's called Drake whack a ton of times when he's dropped projects that he didn't like. So who is Lil TJ coming at here? And then he says, when people call stuff trash, but will they call Drake trash? Yeah, people call Drake trash all the time. Joe Budden was just calling it trash, who's one of the biggest podcasters, arguably, top 3 podcasters in the hip-hop game. So who is it that isn't coming at Drake when he drops something that's whack? I mean, I'm not a big streamer, nor am I a big YouTuber, so my opinion doesn't really count. But I think TJ was just, like, he took the same approach where he wanted to kind of call out people for not saying something that Drake dropped was trash, but he didn't give his own opinion on it. And he's saying, like, I'm not coming at Drake, but... So he didn't even really stand on anything either. Because if you didn't think that what Drake's recently released is trash, then why would you use him as an example? And if you did think it was trash, why would you hide the fact that you thought it was trash to be, a little bit safe about it? Because if you're so real, if you thought it was whack, say it was whack. If you thought it was good, say it's good. Now, it's not your job to do that because you're a rapper. You're not a commentator, a podcaster, a streamer. Yet, you also shouldn't be telling commentators, podcasters, or streamers how to do their job if you're not willing to give your opinion either. Because the whole thing is, do you want to protect that relationship? And, y'all want to deride Drake just so he likes you? Or I don't know, which is not even the case. Like, Drake doesn't even really mess with streamers like that. I mean, he called Kai, but, like the number 5 ranked streamer, whoever that is, Drake isn't calling him. He's just calling the top dog. So they don't even really stand to benefit much from it. So I think if they like it, they're authentically going to talk about them liking it. It's very cut and dry. I think this is more about Lil TJ than it is about Drake or these streamers. And I think Lil TJ is just completely out of the loop, doesn't know what's going on, and is kind of just in his own world. And then looking at what's going on and wondering why he isn't a part of the conversation. And in large part, Lil TJ is not a part of the conversation because he doesn't put in any of the effort to be a part of the conversation. Like you can't, I think Lil TJ was like kind of suffering from success. I love this phrase. And it's funny because whenever I hear this phrase, I just think of the album cover by DJ Khaled with him just holding his head. Lil TJ got successful really quick and he had hits. And then even when he was kind of in a lull, he dropped that Calling My Name song, which turned out to be a hit again. And then, like the tragic incident happens to him and then he's recovering and then he drops that song, which I think he dropped the song after, which was a pretty good song, but it didn't do much. And then he dropped a trash, I think it was a Many Men remix, one of the worst remixes I've ever heard of all time. Like it's up there. It's top 10 garbage remixes by a rapper ever. So he dropped that and then he took a long break or a hiatus, then came back with an album that a bunch of people didn't really even check out. It didn't do numbers. I think it did 22K first week, which if we take a look at the other numbers that people are doing, Kid Laroi 27K, then Lil TJ didn't really do that bad. Can we really come after him for that? But I think he's just wondering why he's not at the pulse of what everyone's talking about, and it's because you don't make an effort to. You've got to be tapped into what's going on. You have to either be consistently putting out music or consistently in people's faces. Because a question that I want to ask you guys right now is, did Lil Nas X fall off? Honest question. Did Jack Harlow fall off? Jack Harlow just came back with a single. Pretty good song. I enjoyed it. Came back with a music video and everything. It hasn't caught on yet. It's not being played everywhere. Everybody's not talking about it. I would say Jaden Alexis, Blueface's girl, her song Barbie is more quote-unquote lit than the new Jack Harlow track, even though Jack Harlow's probably got more streams and it's more popular. Well, I don't know about popular, but you guys get what I mean. He's obviously way bigger, but if you're on the pulse of everything, you know that Jaden Alexis song is doing way more pull-wise, I guess, clout, whatever you want to call it, than the Jack Harlow song. And Lil Nas X, he's kind of just hasn't dropped in a minute. Does that mean he fell off? I don't know. We're going to see when he comes back. So there's kind of this always perpetual existing either fear or pressure. If you take a long break, you have to come back with a hit, because if you come back after a long break without a hit, then everyone's looking at you like you flopped. And now your perception is that you fell off. So now you got to come back with a hit, and you don't even have the favorable perception of, oh yeah, this guy was just taking his time. He's back with a hit. Now they're looking at you like, oh yeah, you took your time. You came back with a dud, and now you're trying to dig yourself out of a grave. So you're 2 missteps away from completely falling off, which is funny because a tweet, I wouldn't say way back then, but maybe a year and a half or so ago or 2 years ago, it was about Sean Strickland, who's currently champ of the UFC in, I forgot what division. I'm not even going to lie. And people were saying, yo, we love you, Sean, this and that. When he was on Twitter, and they're like, man, you don't love me. I'm 2 losses away. I'm 2 L's away from completely losing all of my fans. And that's kind of what it is in music. And Lil TJ is definitely, I wouldn't say suffering from this right now, but Lil TJ is not hot. He's not warm. He's not lukewarm. Right now, he's just out there. If you mention Lil TJ, you'll be like, oh yeah, that guy with those songs. They're not anticipating what he's got next. I don't know if they even listened to what he had recently dropped, unless they were a diehard TJ fan. And I'm pretty sure they just remember him for the songs that he's released years ago. And that can do you a solid, I guess. You can still continue getting paid. You can still continue performing. But to compete consistently, you always have to be on the field. You always got to be in the court or on the court. And you've always got to show out, too. It's not enough just to be putting up shots in the gym unless you come back with a hit. And Lil TJ, he hasn't done that yet, or in the past year and a half, 2 years. So Lil TJ should take the mark away from these streamers, stop coming at them. I don't know why he feels this way, and get back in the studio and drop something and keep dropping until you catch one. And then you'll be back in the pulse of the conversation. Also, Drake is an individual that's always surrounding himself with people. Drake doesn't sit on an island and drop music alone. You guys realize that too? Lil TJ is not even close to as talented as Drake, but he's kind of exists on his own, writes music on his own. Perhaps that's his personality, but you might have to overcome certain parts of your personality if you want to succeed in a genre that relies on collaboration, and not necessarily just musical collaboration, but being around the right people at the right time. For instance, a super solid move that Lil TJ did was when he linked up with Ice Spice. And I don't know if they actually released that song. I can't even remember, but they had a song, they had a music video, that whole saga that was going around, and people were saying that they were dating. Who cares if it's real? Who cares if it's fake? Just that conversation alone and what was going on there is enough that it kind of brought Lil TJ's rep, not in a positive or negative way, but just his clout levels, and people started talking about him again. And consistently doing stuff like that is what keeps you at the pulse of what's going to come next, as well as at the forefront of people's minds, which Lil TJ is not right now. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.